Hello, welcome to today's episode. This is going to be a shorter episode. I'm going to have a series of short episodes that are about feelings. We have been talking about feelings that fuel you. The better we get at understanding our feelings, the better we get at slowing them down, particularly the ones that are not useful in our lives. The better we are at relating to our feelings, of using the ones that are powerful to create the things in our life that we want, and to be gentle with and let go of and have moved through the things that we don't want in our life. So it's not that we aren't going to have all of the feelings. That's called being human, all the good feelings, all the bad feelings. We want all of those in our lives, but we want to relate in them to a way that is productive and loving and curious, not judgmental and spinning and leaving us stuck and not producing the results that we want in our lives and in our relationships. So, if this is your first time here, I really invite you to skip back 2 episodes and listen to those that really I go into much deeper dive into feelings and why they're so important to understand and how you can really lean into them with less fear and lean into them to help produce a better relationship and a relationship that you love and it feels more connected. So stick a pin in this one and jump back to those ones if you haven't heard those ones already. If you have heard those and you've got those under your belt, let's keep going. Like I said, quick episode. I'm going to jump right in on these feelings that fuel you episodes into 2 feelings. And we'll kind of talk about 2 feelings and see how they show up in your life, how they could show up in your life. So you can start relating to these 2 feelings or use this model to notice other feelings that show up in your life. Each of the times, I'm going to pick one that we generally associate with positive on the spectrum of feelings, which is one of the coaching tools that we use, and one that we associate with negative. Did I say that right? Positive and negative. It is hot here today where I'm recording, and my room, I have to have it shut down when I record. So I might be a little stuffy and lightheaded here, not listening to my own words. All right, here we go. The 2 that I picked out for today, first one is sluggish, and the other one is patient. And these 2 words, maybe pick sluggish because in this hot weather, right? I'm watching my cat lay on the floor, just like out like slug, not moving very much. But both of these words are what I would call low vibrational words or low vibrational feelings, rather. That feelings have a certain vibration in our body and they sit in our body in a particular way. So if you think about scared or angry, it's like a high vibration word. It's a lot of energy and intensity behind it. Or excited and joyous, right? Big vibration words. You can see somebody jumping around with joy, or you can see somebody lashing out with punching the air or something like that when they're explosively angry or something. So high vibration, lower vibration. So sluggish and patient, I would associate these are kind of low vibration feelings in our body. So when I look at the definition of sluggish, we'll start there. Sluggish is slow, right? Slow moving, slow to respond. Even when I want to read it, I slow down. So we want to just see then when you feel sluggish, how does this occur in your body? As I just said about my cat, who's just all laying out loose, right? Not tightly wound. Sometimes it's helpful to look at the other thing. Open, let go. How else? Where do you feel it in your body? I oftentimes sluggish. When that feeling occurs to me, I oftentimes feel sluggish in my brain, like it really occurs in my brain. In the morning, my brain is just kind of slow moving. So, the other thing we can look at with our feelings is when do you feel this way and why? So in the morning, I feel sluggish. My brain isn't quite on board yet, quite online yet. It's not all the way awake. I'm quite sluggish. There's other times when I feel sluggish, maybe when I have a lot of input, a lot of sensory, I get kind of sensory overload can get me into, I can go drop into a very sluggish place that I really will slow way down when it occurs to me that there's a lot happening around me, that I'll remove myself in a very sluggish, slow way. It occurs to me as too much to be engaged with it, and I really have to counterbalance all of this. And this kind of goes into your next question when you're looking at your emotions and your feelings. What do I make it mean? Right? When I'm waking up in the morning and I'm sluggish, what do I make that mean? Do I just make it mean this is normal? This is how I'm supposed to feel in the morning? Nothing has gone wrong when I'm sluggish in the morning. It's just my brain coming online and I'm supposed to get up while I'm feeling this way? Or do I make it mean that I didn't get enough sleep and that I'm overwhelmed and worried about things and my sleep patterns aren't good enough or something along those lines, right? Like, what do I make it mean? This is a big thing that will influence our actions when we feel a particular way. On a hot summer day, like I have now, what do I make this mean? Do I make it mean that I'm lazy and no good? Or does it make it mean that my body is really taking care of itself, of working to cool itself by slowing down and not having a very fast metabolizing way of being in the world when it's so hot like this? When my spouse says something and I feel sluggish, my spouse, like I said, this sort of example, when something runs very, very quickly, I might really slow down. When there's like high demand, I might really drop into this sluggish place. And it slows my actions. Now, this could be good or it could not be good, right? It could be me pulling away or it could be me creating some space to not be reactive. And I need to slow down while my spouse is kind of in a high vibrational place and they need to have that balance. What do I make this mean when I feel this feeling of sluggish? Let yourself open up to this and see when you have that 10,000-foot view moving aside from yourself. The other one I put on there is patient. Patient in our dictionary is able to accept or tolerate delays, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Ooh, sometimes this is like the golden, people, this golden, I just wish that I was more patient, right? Have you ever had that? I oftentimes think patient, when I ask this first question of how does patient occur to you in your body, for me, I was noticing it's almost an absence of a lot of feeling. It's such a low vibration that because it's this without becoming annoyed or anxious, that it's a calmness in the body. So much so, not like a deep meditative Zen kind of calm, but just a calmness. It's something that I don't necessarily even notice in the moment. And I notice this because the time where I will see being patient is often when somebody else reflects it back to me. When somebody else says, "Oh man, you're just so patient." And then I can look back at it and be like, "Oh, I could see how you could think that because it was not a problem. I was not annoyed or I was not anxious with what was happening in the moment, with the problems or the delays or the suffering. I was able to just be in the problems and the delays and the suffering without having a lot of reaction to it." So I get called this a lot by my students and my coaching clients because I'm really not in a hurry for the change to happen instantly. And most people that I work with are in a hurry at first, that they want to be in a different place than they are because we're not used to feeling what we feel. And please, can I just feel something different? I'm in a rush and in a hurry to feel something different. But I know when we allow ourselves to be where we are and to feel what we are feeling, and to slow into our space, that is when the change comes. And even if what that is feeling the rush and the urgency to be different, I know people are doing it right. So I'm not annoyed and I'm not anxious with whatever their perception of delays and problems and suffering is. When they're engaged, when we're together and we're working, I know that the problems and the delays and suffering are coming to an end. They're coming to a new place. They're having a new relationship with it, and I'm not worried about it. I know that it works every time. Now, this is where patience shows up in a positive way. I'm not in a rush for something to happen, and so I can let things unfold. But also, because every emotion, even if it occurs into a positive, can also occur into a negative. Sometimes I look back and maybe it stopped me from acting soon enough, or not taking responsibility, or looking for other ways to move forward. I'm patiently waiting for something to unfold in my life. And I'm just in a waiting pattern versus actively asking questions about something and being curious and moving something forward. I'm waiting for something outside of me to change. So, in the case when I'm teaching or coaching with somebody, I have a lot of patience because I need to give space to the other person to have their journey unfold. And I don't need to be in a rush for that. I know they're doing the work and it will unfold. But there are times when maybe I'm waiting in my own life for patiently unfold or change, but I actually need to be the activator of change. And I need to be doing some more input into it instead of it being about the things around me changing. So it can work for me, it can work against me. And I'm going to wrap us up here. I said we'd be short today, but coming in with being committed to feeling what we're feeling, coming in with this commitment to be present and to show up with curiosity. What am I feeling and how does it play out in my life? What do I make these things mean? Can I start to identify the way a certain feeling vibrates in my body so I can be more in tune with it, to go with it, or to ask different questions of it, to have it build up? This is the snowball I want to build, or this is not the snowball I want to build, and I want to slow it down. Show up with curiosity and love for yourself and for your spouse. All of these feelings that we go through, your spouse is allowed to feel all of them too. The more space that we can and understanding of the different granular details of a feeling that our spouse is going through, the more we can hold space and love and care for them to feel what they're feeling. It's a moment in time or a few moments in time. It's an energetic way in our body, and understanding it, loving ourselves for being human, for having all of these emotional responses, leads us to a new and growing place. All right, my friends, you're beautiful and amazing, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you can get every episode. And when you are ready to be in action, come find us. Facebook, Instagram, or our website. It's all the same name, relationshipsonfire.com. We've got that S on there. There's lots of us having relationships. So relationships with an S on fire.com. Thanks so much. Saying goodbye, your fire and water gal, Corey Micah. See you next time.